Welcome to the 700 Club. Yesterday, the United Nations had a vote, and it called on Israel to pull out of biblical lands in Judea, Samaria, and Jerusalem. The move would force millions of Jewish citizens from their homes.
Meanwhile, for the second day in a row, electronic devices belonging to Hezbollah terrorists exploded across Lebanon, killing dozens. Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has that story.
Communications devices belonging to Hezbollah terrorists blew up in a second day of explosions on Wednesday. This attack targeting walkie-talkies after thousands of pagers were remotely detonated the day before. The Wednesday blasts killing more than 30 people and wounding 450. Hezbollah blames Israel for the explosions and says the Jewish nation will pay. At the same time, Israel says it thwarted an Iranian plot to assassinate its top leaders. Officials announcing the arrest of an Israeli citizen who had twice been smuggled into Iran and paid to promote missions to kill Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other senior figures. This as Israel is shifting more resources for potential military action against Hezbollah. The IDF's 98th Division is being sent from Gaza to the northern border. Middle East analyst David Daoud told CBN's Faith Nation that diplomatic efforts have failed to end Hezbollah's threat.
What seems to remain is some kind of military action to push Hezbollah back from the border, to degrade its military capabilities. And I think we're starting to see the Israelis shift into that posture.
As the IDF focus shifts from Gaza to Lebanon, families of hostages held in Gaza worry if Hamas will ever free them.
Our greatest fear is that our loved ones, whether or those who are still might be alive or those who have already been murdered, will never come home.
And in New York, 2/3 of UN countries passed a resolution on Wednesday demanding Israel leave its biblical homeland of Judea and Samaria and eastern Jerusalem, also known as the West Bank, within the next 12 months. That would force more than 500,000 Jewish Israelis from their homes. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, on top of that resolution, they also passed a resolution saying that Israel did not have a right to defend itself in Gaza, in the West Bank, or on the border of Lebanon, all of which is absolutely incredible that the UN would pull back a basic sovereign right, that you have a right to defend yourself. When you are attacked across your borders, then you have a right to respond to that attack. It doesn't end. You don't have these safe areas where terrorists go and hide and regroup and then come back and attack you again. I will remind everyone, and especially the UN, when Israel pulled out of southern Lebanon, the deal was the UN would create and maintain a safe zone that would have no weapons. The UN has completely failed in that mission. Hezbollah runs southern Lebanon, and they have put it, there are so many tunnels, all of these missiles. They're armed like a European nation state, and it was done under your watch. Why are you now coming after Israel? It makes no sense. Do what you promised to do, and that there will be peace on that border. As long as you have this vacuum, Hezbollah is going to come in real strong and try to fill it. In other news, the Federal Reserve has cut its benchmark rate by 0.5 point. That action has consumers possibly hopeful that they'll have more money at the end of the month. Dale Hurd has the story.
The Federal Reserve has delivered the biggest interest rate cut in 16 years, and it's a sign the central bank believes the U.S. has turned the corner on inflation.
The U.S. economy is in good shape. It's growing at a solid pace. Inflation is coming down. The labor market is in a strong pace. We want to keep it there.
The move lowers the benchmark federal funds rate to between 4.75% and 5%. It's the first interest rate cut in years and is welcome news to families like the Warrens, who have been trying to pay off over $15,000 in credit card debt.
A reduction in interest is actually really kind of a breath of fresh air because I feel like we can never get ahead. I just feel like this is going to help make a bigger dent in getting back on track.
And it's hopeful news for many first-time home buyers who have been sidelined by high mortgage rates, like Kate Pesca, who hopes to get more house for her money.
With mortgage rates going down, I'm excited for an opportunity to open some doors to some properties that I did not originally foresee as possible.
The cut is an attempt to bring about a soft landing for the U.S. economy and prevent the Fed's previous sharp rises in rates from tipping the economy into recession. The Fed will meet again in November and December after the election, and analysts say it could cut interest rates again, with more cuts ahead in the next 2 years. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, there's certainly welcome news for the stock market, and the stock market futures are up today. But will it actually impact credit card interest rates? Not necessarily. It depends on the terms of your particular card. Will it cut mortgage rates? The answer is yes, it will. And a lot of people are now saying, should I refinance, or shall I wait until the Federal Reserve is finished cutting? But the big issue, and it is a huge issue, is the amount of money that Americans are paying for rent right now. And that is a variety of factors. One, inflation is making it nearly impossible to build new apartment units. And then you have 9 million immigrants that cross the border, and so there is an absolute increase in demand for apartments, and so the prices have gone up. That's a huge blow, if you will, to our middle class. And if you're renting, you're feeling the pinch. This interest rate cut isn't going to help you, and that's the biggest chunk of your budget. I wish the politicians would wake up to it, that when you have excess demand, prices will go up, and they've certainly created it.